Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Kashko and this is Goblin KTV, and today we're doing an unboxing of a unique old school TTRPG box set. This is not a beginner box, this is a full game in a box, and it's scary because of how much is in here. It is from Steve Jackson Games. It is powered by GURPS. If you're not familiar with what that is, GURPS is Generic Universal Role-Playing System. It is as old school as you can get, and it hasn't changed much in all that time. Steve Jackson Games is one of the few companies which is still owned by the original owners, and is over 20 years old. So this is a massive box. As you can see, it's not A4 size, which is a bit of an issue for me. It's an annoyance, and it is huge. Most boxes being, say, that big. It does have a what's in the box on the back. I prefer them as a little bit of a sheet, and you can kind of see what's going to be inside. But let's get this monster opened. That's a genuine grunt. This is really that heavy. You'll see why. So let's get into it. We have Dungeon Fantasy Adventures. We do have a spacer. I hate spacers, as you might notice with some of the other videos we do. Really disdain them. This is more for formatting rather than actually being a spacer for space. So the adventures, I'm going to have to move this out of the way, and we'll do one of these at a time. So adventures, this is all just about your characters, creation, races, classes, all the bits and pieces. It's over 100 pages, over 125, and there's so much details in here. I really enjoy the fact that they've labeled or they've color coded every chapter. It makes it very easy to see where you are in the book. I can actually get into a different chapter, etc. and etc., which makes it really easy to see where you are in the book. I really like this formatting. The quality of the printout is actually quite high, and it's a nice binded book, and you have a quick reference in the back. It's not separate, which is what I'd like, but at least it's on this back. So that's the first. We'll just move that off to the side. We have spells. I just don't know where to put this because it's so big. Okay, we have spells. So often in these books, when you come to a fantasy role-playing game, you'll have spells in the player's guide or in the GM's guide, etc. Well, this has got its own book of spells. That's just how detailed it is. Again, it has color codes, and it's got quite a few of them. We're looking at another 80 odd pages just of spells, and they've got a lot of things you'd be familiar with with generic fantasy spells, etc. But maybe some interesting ones which you may not have thought about. But there you go. Again, you have a quick reference on the back. Again, rather separately, but at least it's there. Let's get the next one. Exploits. What the hell is exploits? Well, it's annoying that they've titled this is the rules. They've titled it exploits, but this is your rules book. I just don't know why they've called it exploits. The rules themselves are actually quite simple. The rules section from 5 to 13 pages. That's it. But you've got bad things, you've got fighting, you've got dungeon delving, you've got game mastering rules, you've got tables. Again, this is over 100 pages, good quality binding, and all the chapters are color coded. The printing is really good on these books. There's just so much detail. Also, these are written for people that may not have actually role-played before. A lot of role-playing stuff I have seen, even the beginner boxes, assume that you have played role-playing games before and just know the terminology or not. This is written in a way which is easy to pick up and easy to understand for people that don't know what they're doing, the people that are trying these things for the first time. So even though this is not a beginner box, this is an all-in-one set. This is a really good set for that. I'm really impressed with that. And again, you got a quick reference on the back, not by itself. We have, oops. We have a whole book of monsters. Usually people call them beastries these days, but a monster book is just as fine. Bit smaller, so it's a staple bound, but nice hardcover to keep it there, and color coded, etc. No real photos, so to speak, which is a bit of a disappointment. There are some, but I say photos, but I mean art. But I would prefer more art. I'm used to more art. I'm used to the old 18D second edition Monsters Manual, where you have art of every single monster, including artwork of the Invisible Stalker, which is the best artwork you can find for the Invisible Stalker. But I digress. So yeah, the books are pretty basic. Again, about 50 odd pages. And oh look, you have a quick reference on the back, which is actually pretty good. You actually have facings for monsters, and you have sizes and how they fit into the sizes and shapes. So a horse is 3 hexes, lion 2, and is that an elephant? Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. But it's really nice to actually have those details. This is a bit more chunkier than what you'd find most systems. The GURPS is a universal system, so it caters for everything. As such, it might be a bit more complex than most. Unlike something like BRP, basic role-playing, which is more simplistic in its approach and is able to cater for everything, this goes the opposite way, unfortunately. But I'm not saying it's bad. We've still got more to go. Let's get the next one out. Okay, we have, this is going to be a quick one, we've got a book just on grappling. I'm not kidding, just on grappling. There we go. 8 pages just on grappling with a how-to at the back. Sometimes grappling can be complex, so I like that they've included. If you've seen the grappling rules for Pathfinder First Edition, you might know what I'm talking about. There was a whole flowchart for that one, and it was required. So we've got a small little mini dungeon called I Smell a Rat. It is a very micro dungeon, micro adventure. So there you go. I'm not going to open it up to show you all the bits and pieces, but it's a little micro adventure ready for you to jump in and have fun with. There. You also don't have a cheat sheet, but you got extra hexes on the back just in case. I can finally take this spacer out and have a couple maps. Oh, there we go. So these maps are not shiny and reflective. They're still high quality. Let's see if I can open them up. And they're double-sided. And they're not going to play ball with me, are they? Sorry for the sound. There you go. So these are huge. So, as an example. And they're going to be noisy, so let's see if I can fold these back in. So there are 2 of these. I'm not going to open up the second one just because of that noise. I'm sorry about the noise. I'll probably have to mute this in editing. But there's another one here as well. So then we get to almost the end of the box. We've got something which I've never seen before in a beginner box or even role-playing box. It's still in its bag, but that's a little notebook. It's a little notebook. It's probably maybe 20 odd pages, but for GM notes, that's pretty cool to have. We have adventure pawns. Oh. There's 2 sets of them. They fold out. I can remember how they fold out. There we go. So 2 sets of adventure pawns fold out. With lots and lots of different monsters. Far more than what would be in that little scenario. You have 2 spaces. Again, I don't like them, but you got 2 spaces. But in this case, they do actually fit the height of what they're spacing. They probably could have done better. You have 6 pairs of dice. You only need 3 for the game. So this is a dice for the GM and a dice for the players, which is something that I've mentioned a few times. So I really like that. And you've got essentially adventure, like you've got the pawn stands there. Because pawns for the monsters. But it's really nice to have the dice. They are custom. They have a little Steve Jackson Games pyramid on them. But other than that, they're semi-clear. They're not the best. The spaces are the right size for them to fit in height. But if you had this in 2 separate packages, you'd have less height, which means you have less spaces needed, which means you could actually get away with more. Also, these could have been fitted into this if you had them in 2 separate packages, meaning that you didn't have to use this. Again, just a gripe, but it all adds up. So this is the whole kit and caboodle for Dungeon Fantasy. I was trying to think of the name there. Dungeon Fantasy. It is a full-on game. GURPS is very old school. It can be clunky, but it can still be a lot of fun. And because it's been around for such a long time, there's a lot of products on the market. I mean, absolute ton of products on the market. And because it's universal, you can use it for so many different things. I just realized I put those in without the spacer. Let's see if I can get that in. Okay. So, right before I put the cover on, I'm just going to see if I can flip this up delicately. So, that's some of the other products that you can use this product for. So, you got zombies, you got infinite worlds, you got magic, thermatology, all the bits and pieces. So, there's more stuff for GURPS. And it might be a bit of an expensive product, but if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for an old school essentials product without it being old school essentials specifically, that's actually a pretty good option. And because it's been out for such a long time, there's so many products that are available for it, and it would work quite well for you, I think. That's my thought on it. I haven't played GURPS since about I'm thinking about 1995. It's probably the last time I played GURPS. So it's been quite a while. But I'm not saying it's a bad option. I'm actually thinking it's a good option if you're looking for something that's old school essentials, something that's Dungeons and Dragons like, maybe. Try Dungeon Fantasy. It's got so much going for it. And a product like this has so much in it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. Hopefully you're informed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all the bits and pieces. If when you're role playing at your table, if there's an option which is not optimal, it's often the most fun. So choose that one and have fun around the table. So that's it for me. Bye for now.